All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast weekly wake up. I'm Jay Teagues, and I have with me the lovely, the beautiful Angie Betrain. How are you doing this morning, Angie?
It's Monday. I'm doing fantastic. I'm
How's this
here.
Monday for you? Do you feel like you're going to dominate the week? How are you feeling
Oh,
today?
I'm definitely going to dominate the week. I'm so excited. I have been collectively off work for about a month with Christmas break and then with surgery on my hand. And as I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm ready
How's
to
that?
do this.
How's your hand healing up?
It's doing great. It's doing great. I got a little, I can move it around just a little bit.
Good,
We're doing
good.
good. Yeah. Yeah.
How's your E3 challenge going for you?
I got more points this week than I did last week. So getting better every week.
That's
And
awesome.
it's, for me, it's a competition against me. I posted it in the group. I'm not here to dominate the E3 challenge against everybody else and just do it to rack up all the points. I'm truly doing it to make myself a better person at my own sustainability, putting my own habits in place so I can keep going after the E3 challenge, just
Yeah,
doing all the things that make me a better person.
to be stronger than you were yesterday.
Yes,
I woke up.
yes.
I
Nice
woke
shirt.
up looking at my shirts this morning. Like, what do I feel? That's what I love about all the shirts. Like, what do I feel
Yeah.
like today? I feel like I'm stronger than yesterday. So that's what I
Hey,
throw in.
and I don't have that shirt, so I'm gonna have to
Oh,
jump online and order it.
when do you get you squared away? It's pretty
Yeah,
popular.
yeah.
Well, hey, before we get into diving in today's episode, which is how to power through the Valley of Despair. Valley of Despair is one of the emotional states of change. This is usually where people they start an endeavor and then
Yeah.
they for whatever reason quit. And
Yeah.
so I love this topic. So, but make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes of the podcast. If you're listening to this, it would mean a lot to us if you went over to Apple iTunes, left us a review and share it with a couple of your friends. There's no doubt that something that we talk about today is going to help someone. We want to expand the Do Hard Things empire, the Do Hard Things nation. So take a screenshot, share it. This episode is sponsored by Lions Guide. Lions Guide is a growth agency. We feel everyone's a leader, and we make leaders better. Being the one in charge can be overwhelming. Without the right support, you feel like you're maybe barely keeping up with demands. You might be struggling with your team to staff, retain, maximize your team. You might even feel overwhelmed and rather than confident and with a sense of peace of mind. And it doesn't have to be that way. Lions Guide has helped leaders like you gain confidence, accomplish more, and earn the personal freedom that you sought to achieve. We help you with our online academy, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, organizational workshops. Let Lions Guide help you solve your problems. Go to www.lionsguide.com. They are also the sponsor of the E3 Challenge. This episode is also brought to you by UARD, University of Applied Research and Development, where we help veterans obtain their bachelor and master's degree in emergency management. Study abroad in New Zealand for a short tour or a long tour, fully funded VA program. You can use your GI Bill, Voc Rehab. This is specifically for veterans, gain maximum credit for your service and experience. And the goal is to get that bachelor or master's degree within 1 year. It's non-traditional, great way to experience New Zealand. You can go to doourthingsnation.com, click on Do Our Things Down Under, or go to www.uard.university. So, and then finally, go to dohardthingsnation.com. Go grab yourself some stronger than yesterday gear. We've got
Yes.
hats and patches and hoodies and all sorts of high quality gear to help you go out there and crush it. So that's all the business end of things. So
Hey, hey.
yeah, we're off to a good start this week. I'll be honest. Last week, I would say, are you surviving or thriving? I felt like last week was kind of a survivor week for me,
Was
but
it?
I'm feeling pretty good this morning. So I think I'm pretty optimistic about this week.
So how are you taking on this challenge, Jay? What is your goal here? What is
My
your why?
my goal is to be stronger than yesterday. No, my why is ultimately, the whole purpose of the challenge is to improve energy
Hmm.
and kind of shore up some areas where I feel like I'm weak.
Hmm.
There's a couple of things that we sprinkled in there that I hadn't seen in any other challenges that we know that we need to do, i.e. the sleep
Hmm.
and the meditation and the gratitude. So some of the things that I know I should be doing, but
Hmm.
I'm not quite doing it. And how do I
Yeah.
score keep that? Because the exercise comes pretty easy. Diet, kind of comes and
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
It's the alcohol or the cheat meal here or there, but overall not
Right.
too bad. Water, pretty good on that.
Hmm.
But what I wanted to do was find something that challenges everyone. So for me personally, it was just improving my overall wellness
Hmm.
and really kind of getting more sleep.
That's funny because generally I know I need more sleep, and I try to get more sleep, but I just get so wrapped up in all the things, all the things. Oh, let me just take care of one more thing, one more thing. And this has truly made me go, look at the clock, count the hours down. Okay, how many points do you want for sleep? How much sleep do you need? And how much sleep are you going to make yourself get tonight? And so
Yeah.
it's really helped me be very conscious in that area.
This is the first time that I've ever been like you said, if I want max
Mhm.
points tonight, like, okay, I need to go to bed. And that's been
Yeah.
kind of a revelation because I was in bed last night by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm usually like a 10 or 11. And I
Mhm.
know it's costing me, but I didn't realize like how much because I'm feeling a lot better since starting
Yeah.
this challenge. I directly correlate to the sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And so,
that's where our brain and body repairs and grows and
yeah.
all the things
And
when we're
that's,
resting.
something I recently learned is when you're having like, that's where you process like your emotions, hitting that REM sleep. So if you're dealing with stress,
Hmm.
it's the REM sleep cycle that helps you process those things, kind of helps you defrag your hard drive, if you will.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Get
so
that
when we
ring.
do the 22-0 coaching and the TRP process for people,
Hmm.
they talk about how they go into a deeper sleep for 10 days after a session. They
Hmm.
notice that their sleep pattern, like they go into that deep sleep because their
Hmm.
body's like relaxed and it's getting in there to defrag all the work that we just did. So it's
Oh,
incredible.
wow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah. That's cool stuff.
crazy.
Science.
So
Science.
science. So yeah, so this week we wanted to talk about, because so many people are, well, if you're doing the challenge, you're probably facing this, but we're recording this like late January. So this is the time where people start to forget about their New Year's challenge and they're starting to, that you might see less cars in the gym. Well, what's happening here? Why is that happening? Why does it happen year after year? Well, something that I've learned are the 5 emotional states of change. And this is any time that you take on something new, where you're trying to make a change in your life. Because, when you're when you're trying to go to the gym or do these things, where you're trying to improve yourself, you're trying to incorporate a new change. But why is it so difficult for us to see it through? Why is it so hard for us to stick to it? And there's a
People
reason for
rely
that.
solely on motivation. That's why.
Yeah, an emotion or
Sorry.
motivation is
Sorry.
no, motivation's fickle. It will
It's
leave you
yes.
behind.
Yes. It dies every time. It just poof, gone.
Yes. And why is that? Why is that? Well, it's because we kind of go through a cycle. Hang on a second. I'm trying to type up my notes here. We go through a cycle, and I learned this from the book, the 12-week year.
Mhm.
Give me.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've got my old drawing here. I don't know if you guys can see this. So if you're listening to me, I'll try to explain this. If you're watching, you can probably see me hold up this little board. But just imagine yourself like on a mountaintop here. This is where you're currently at, and you're trying to get to this other mountaintop. Okay, so we want to take a little journey. We have something in mind. This is our current state of being, is on top of this one mountain, but we want to go to this other mountain. And climbing a mountain and going on a journey requires some planning. It requires effort.
Hmm.
And so just think about something that you want to change in your life. And let's just call that a journey, whatever that journey is for you. For the purpose of what we're talking about, the E3 challenge, right? We're trying to incorporate habits. We're trying to get to a certain score, and we want to see it through to the other side. And on that other side is your why, right? Well, whatever that is for you, it's
Hmm.
the change that you want to make. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to sleep better. Whatever that is. If you can equate this to like finances, if you're trying to pay off a credit card or
Hmm.
put savings away, whatever that endeavor is, you're at a start point at the top of the mountain. You're trying to get to the other. And along the way, I don't know if you can see very well, but we have time at the bottom. Okay, so as you travel from one mountain top to the other, there's time. And then the mountain itself represents emotional change, the emotion that you're feeling. So at the top, you're feeling a high amount of emotion, happiness, right? I'm excited.
I'm
The
on top of the
bottom,
world.
the bottom, this sucks. I hate this. And then you've got this range here. Okay. So as you go from one top of the mountain, so when you start something, yeah, new year, new me. I'm doing the E3 challenge. I'm doing insert whatever challenge here, whatever that endeavor is. I get a new Peloton bike. This is cool. I got this new piece of equipment. I'm excited. this is the stage one. This is uninformed optimism. This is going to be the peak of your excitement because it's like, you know what? You've made the decision to change and you're all in and you're looking forward to it. You're ready to go. But as we start, okay, we're at the top of the mountain. I can't see my finger there. As we start, we're starting to climb down. Okay, so this is the grind. We're getting into it now, and as you can see, your emotion starts to wane as time goes on. So as you're moving down the mountain, your emotion starts to come down off the high. Maybe a week into it, you're still, feeling really having a great week. Get into week 2, you get into week 3, you get into a month. It's like, okay, this is starting to kind of. This is what we call informed pessimism, where you begin the change, you start to see your behaviors change, but reality is starting to set in that, you know what, the resistance and your old habits, which are incredibly powerful, are starting to take shape, and they're really starting to kind of grind on you just a little bit, but you're still moving forward with progress. And then eventually, as you come down the mountain, you get down into this valley. And that's stage 3. And that's called the valley of despair. And anytime that you take on something, that's the moment of truth where, like, you have to face reality. Like, this really sucks. Like, this is getting painful. And this is where you start to think about quitting because you're so far out, you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And the resistance comes in. And oftentimes what we do is we seek another goal. Versus sticking it through. And this cycle of that's why I got it in red. This cycle of 1, 2, 3, going from the top down to the valley of despair, is what most people do over and over and over again. Instead of throwing out the tactic, they change their goal altogether. They just basically change, because what they do is they get back on the high. They're seeking that high that they get from being back at the uninformed optimism. Because down here in the low, it's like, well, this sucks. Let me start a new endeavor or a new goal, and they get this perpetual cycle of never really finishing anything.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is, when you're in the valley of despair, is to continue to press on, and eventually you're going to get to stage 4, which you're halfway back up the mountain again. You're going to start to see the progress, and you're going to get closer to that light at the end of the tunnel, and that's where you get your second wind. That's where you start to get motivated again, because you can see the finish line. And if we can't see the finish line, that's usually where that our motivation, that by that time our motivation is down, but we get remotivated when we can see the finish line. Yeah. And then you get to the very top, back on that emotional high, because you've achieved your goal. You saw it through. And that's why finishing things feels so freaking good, is because we get back on that emotional high. We've achieved our goal. It feels amazing to do something difficult, that meaningful pursuit. And it's the valley of despair that gets us. It's the valley of despair where we want to quit. And I've already got people messaging like, "Hey Jay, I'm going to quit the challenge. I appreciate
what?
it."
Really? No, we're only 2 weeks in.
Well, the one thing I've noticed is that people take on, well, I'm already in like 2 or 3 other challenges. Well, okay, why are you doing all the challenges? So it's taken on too much. And then, but what happens when you're in this constant state of quitting? Your mind keeps score of that, and that wanes on your confidence. It has a direct correlation to your own confidence, because you're not seeing things through. You're not holding yourself accountable, and you're not. When you say that you're going to do something and you don't, it feels
you're not
like
keeping your word to yourself.
It feels like crap, right?
Yeah.
And your mind keeps score of that, even on the little things. If you have value and integrity, your mind will keep score of that, and that erodes your confidence over time.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's what's important. So if you're not in the valley of despair yet on an endeavor that you're pursuing, you will hit it, and you know what I'm talking about. And that's the moment where you got to continue to push through anyway. And that valley of despair is a real deal.
Well, yeah, and that's where you hear everybody talk about they're no longer motivated. Where'd the motivation go? I'm not motivated to do this anymore. And that's where you got to dig deep. And that's where those habits that you're putting into place, those sustainable habits that you're putting in place, you got to rely back on those, fall back on those, and you just have to do it. You literally have to set yourself up for success. You have to, whether that's setting your clothes out in the morning, setting your run shoes out in the morning. Rosie used to tell me, when I first met Rosie, I remember she would get up and run in the wee early morning hours in the cold. And I'm like, Rosie, I can't do it. She'd be like, come on, let's go run. I'm like, nope, can't do it. I hate the cold. I hate running in the morning. And I'm like, I don't even know how you do it. She said, I don't even think about it. I put my shoes out. I put my alarm on, my shoes and my clothes. I jump up, get dressed, and hit the door and start running before I can even realize what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's become an ingrained habit. Like your
Yes.
mind doesn't even have to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So they say, I mean, there's all sorts of theory on this, but it
Mhm.
takes about 21 to 30 days to create a habit. But that's a habit that you have to think about still.
Mhm.
But just think about how you mindlessly get up and you brush your teeth. You don't even think about it.
Yep.
It takes about a year to develop the wiring for that. So Rosie's been running for years and years and years. So when
Yeah.
you get to that point where you just kind of, you don't even have to think about it, like your autopilot to a positive habit, that's where you want to be. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is where you want all your habits to be, is where you don't even have to give them any brain power. They just happen. But you
Yeah.
have to get through the valley of despair in order to do it.
Yeah.
You got to
You got to
push through.
show up over and over and over again. And
Mhm.
when motivation leaves you, it ties back to, why did you start to begin with? And when you
Yeah.
really tap in, that's why when people start these challenges, I'm always asking, well, why are you doing it? And
Mhm.
you asked me this morning, I love having accountability from you asked me like, why am I doing this? Well,
Yeah.
I want to have more energy. I want to be healthier.
Right.
I want to feel good. I want to break the habit of my horrible sleeping because I know it's affecting me so negatively, which is why I selfishly put that in there.
Well, and that's that intrinsic motivation, that intrinsic motivation that you need for yourself. We talked about this maybe a couple episodes ago, doing things for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
When you're jumping on board and doing things for the wrong reasons, it's really hard to get the right results.
Yeah.
So you got to check in with yourself.
Yeah. I sent an email yesterday talking about the FOMO, right? The FOMO thing, because everyone else is doing it. So I want to jump on the bandwagon. Then you
Mhm.
get into it and you realize, well, this isn't what I want to be doing.
This is
Well,
too hard.
why did you do it in the first place? Well,
Yeah.
because everyone else is doing it. I don't want to feel like I'm missing out.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Do it for the wrong reason. Do it for you.
Yep.
So what have you found to be the most helpful for you so far?
So far for me is actually sitting down at the end of the night, and well, actually not even just at the end of the night. So I look at my tally sheet probably 3 times a day. Because I've noticed there was a couple days last week that I was just super busy, and I write my gratitude. So one of the first things of gratitude is to write 3 things you're grateful for. And so I write that in my daily planner. I've got a special page dedicated to it. And there were a couple days last week that I pulled my planner out like I usually do, and I opened the page, and then maybe I got a phone call, I got squirreled. I don't know what happened, but in my mind, I had immediately written those down. And then I went back later on in the day and I checked, and I'm like, oh my God, what? I mean, I could literally, I had memories of me writing these things down, but I didn't do it. I got squirreled. So for me, having the checks and balances on pen, on paper, some people use it. They can pull it up on their phone and look at it. I prefer just having it right there to look at, but looking at what I've done, how many things I had left to go. And that's what keeps me motivated. Like, well, how much water do I really want to push myself to drink today? It's really hard being active versus non-active, meeting certain water goals. I'm used to running and going to the gym and being very active. And here lately, since I had hand surgery, I've not been really active. So that's changed the way I consume my water. And I've really had to be super mindful about, okay, this is your goal for today. This is what you really got to do. And then just pulling that sheet out, taking a look at it. What have you done? What do you want to do today? What are your goals for today? So I really like the sheet. At first I thought it was going to be overwhelming and too much. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that is a lot. And then I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. I fold it up and use it as a bookmark, or I'll leave it out on the table as reminders. I'm walking through my house or whatever, like, okay, I got to keep on track. What else I need to get done today? And it kind of keeps me on track. It's a measuring stick.
Well, yeah. And me keeping it with my planner also keeps me in my planner, which helps me time block and plan out my day and really just make the use of every hour that I have available.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what, that's the kind of the ingenious thing behind the process. Is just as much of a time management tool and keeps you in your planner.
Yeah.
It was great because, Lacey and I have kind of slip in our planning. We sat down yesterday, had a big planning session. It just feels good to be on the same sheet of music. And what I love about it, as much as possible, we try to do these things together. Like we're trying to plan our workouts together, and
Mm-hmm.
we're keeping each other accountable to it. It's just been a lot of fun. I've
Yeah.
noticed that I feel much better than I did about a month ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sustainable, healthy habits.
That's right.
So good morning. We see you guys watching us. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're open to some questions. We've got about 10 minutes left. Angie, what else you want to talk about this morning?
Oh, let's see. Clarity. Hey, yeah, clarity. Okay. How do we get clear? What if someone's in the valley of despair and they've lost their why? What are the maybe some few short steps they can take to identify or re-identify their why and gain some clarity as to why they're doing this challenge and why they should stick with it?
Yeah, I think sitting down with some pen and paper, it sounds silly. It sounds simple. It is simple. It is simple, but it's one of those things that it's easy to do, easier not to do kind of a thing. But sitting down with a pen and paper and reflecting on like what it is that you want for yourself. And and that kind of goes back to, is this the right thing for you at this moment in time? Or, what do you truly want? What are you truly gaining out of this? What do you want for yourself? Because your clarity is your north-seeking arrow, like on your compass. And if you don't have clarity, you end up climbing. I got a picture of these mountains for a reason. I talk about climbing the mountains. It takes a lot of energy to climb a mountain and take on in a challenge or an adventure. Or I look back at my life, there's a lot of things that took a lot of energy. And I look back, I'm like, that wasn't the right mountain to climb, i.e., I've got 2 master's degrees. Well, one of them I wasted a lot of energy on. I probably didn't need it because I'm not going to use it. And I look back at my life on certain things that I've done. I'm like, man, if I had a little bit more clarity in that moment in time, I probably wouldn't have made that decision. So all that to say that there are moments of time where if you're feeling uncertain, sitting down with a journal and getting clear on what it is that you specifically want. What is it that you want for your life? And a way that I like to do it is kind of filtering it through all the significant aspects of your life. And what that is, so like for our planning session yesterday with Lacey and I, we kind of went down like this this checklist of things that are important to us. And when you filter it through these lenses, then that gives you some clarity. So when we listed all the things out that we wanted to accomplish over the next quarter and the rest of the year, we start off with spiritual. What do I want spiritually? Because a lot of people are like, man, I need to go to church more. I need to be praying more. Okay, well, what could you do, and list that out? Then we went through relationships. What needs your focus and attention with your relationships? Your mental well-being. What are you doing for yourself? What are you doing what are your fitness goals? What do you want there? What do you want for your career? If you have a business, what are your business goals? Do you want to travel? Like, what traveling experiences do you want to have? What is your education and self-development goals? What are your finances? What's your status there? Volunteering, giving, charity, memberships, what's there? What skills do you want to develop? And then is there anyone that you're trying to influence? Those are all really good filters. And if you write those down and you journal on each one of those, like what specifically you want, then you can start to connect the dot on the action steps to achieve that. You prioritize, enumerate what's most important, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you look at your calendar like, okay, these are the tasks that will fill my bucket in these areas.
Yeah.
Then you start to apply the habits, the tactics, whatever that is, back into your life. And so if you're feeling out of kilter, it's a very simple methodology. Just requires you to sit down with no distraction and do some self-reflection on where you're at. Do that map and compass check. And if you do that, you'll often get yourself back on your path. Because when you're not on your path, you're miserable.
Well, and how about, you pulled up the mountain of the diagram of the 2 mountains with the valley of despair in between. How about you put an accountability partner up on that last peak there, that end goal, a really good accountability partner, a really good one that when you call and say, I want to quit, I'm done, I'm tired, I don't want to complete the challenge, that they kick your butt back into gear and they remind you. They help you burn those ships and get back on and keep moving, pushing forward, moving the dirt, right? That's what it's about, moving the dirt.
Absolutely.
If you don't have an accountability partner, get one. Get one that's going to really push you. Don't get a yes person. Don't get somebody that's just going to be like, well, if you're tired today, it's fine to quit and start again. Nope, you've been doing this way too much, or you wouldn't be here. If you if you didn't need that kick in the butt, you wouldn't be doing something to challenge yourself. Get an accountability partner. Get somebody to remind you of your why. When you forget your why, when you're in the valley of despair and you feel like you're drowning, get somebody to help remind you.
Yeah. If you're going to go climb a mountain, right, you need a partner. You need someone on belay, right? You need someone that's going to help you get up the mountain, because when you're doing rope work, you need to have a partner.
Yeah.
And you can do it by yourself, but it's so incredibly, it's so much more difficult to go on that journey alone. And yes, you need the right partner.
Yeah.
Because that notion of, it's okay, you did enough, you deserve to stop.
Just pat yourself on the back.
Yeah. The gallon of water, it's not healthy for you to drink a gallon of water. It's bad for you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna call Angi, because Angi's gonna slap me around and give me some truth, right? The truth that I need to hear. So yes, having the right people around you is incredibly important when you're on that specific journey.
Yes.
And so your accountability is everything.
It is. And it's not easy. Don't beat yourself up when you don't have motivation. Don't beat yourself up if you feel like you're having a hard time keeping yourself accountable, because you're human. That's why we put all these other measures into place to help us.
It happens to all of us. Yeah, it happens to all of us. That's why you gotta craft the right team around you. You gotta do the right thing. You gotta show up, and you
gotta do hard things.
Absolutely.
It's called doing hard things.
That's why we're here. Actually requires you to do hard things. And most of it's pretty easy, but it's the moments that get really hard. That's where you grow. That's what tests your mettle.
Hey, something that's coming easier to me over the last 2 weeks. Okay. So, my close friend groups know it's really hard for me to approach an individual and strike up a conversation about nothing, or even something, unless it's like running or roller derby or photography. Like, it's really hard for me to do that. Inside, I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I'm like having to pump myself up. So this ties into the random acts of kindness, because to do a random act of kindness, sometimes it requires interaction with someone you don't know. It's becoming easier for me. I actually got out of my car. I had a gift certificate to a local little restaurant here. And I'm like, I'm going to go and find a worker at the local grocery store at Price Cutters and give them this gift certificate, because this is enough to feed them and maybe one other person. And so I walked in the store and I saw a couple of them. They looked like they were on break, just chit-chatting with each other. And I just walked up. I'm like, hey, how you guys doing? And they're like, good. So does anybody eat at this restaurant here? And this one guy goes, no, I don't eat there. And another girl goes, well, no, I'm not eating there, but I'd try it. And I'm like, well, I've got a gift certificate I would love to give you as a random act of kindness, because I'm doing this challenge. If you would like it, if you would use it. And she goes, yeah, I could take my mom to lunch. I'm like, well, here you go. Have a great day. It was not easy, because that does not come easy to me, walking up to strange people and just talking to them. But I did it, but it's becoming easier. And so this week I've given out two or three Starbucks gift cards, and it was just a lot easier for me to just be like, hey, do you drink things or eat things? Do you like cold things or hot things? Because you can find all of those at Starbucks, and here you go. Usually what I open up with is, do you like Starbucks? And normally they go, well, yeah. And I'm like, here, have one on me. Here's a Starbucks gift card. And on the inside, and the good thing about the Starbucks gift cards I like is because you can put it in the sleeve that they'll give you for free, and you can write hashtag E3 challenge, hashtag do hard things, random act of kindness, and the amount that's on the gift card. So I like doing that. But anyway, it's getting a little bit easier for me, but it's a challenge. Like, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone every single time I have to do a random act of challenge that involves speaking randomly to a person.
Yeah, no, and that's been the kind of the blessing of this. And that's probably the highlight of my day, is really going out there and doing something, because it's like its own little adventure. You never know how it's going to pan out.
I know.
And it always feels good. There hasn't been a time that, even the guy that turned me away the other day, like, because he kind of ran away from me thinking I was a creeper, it just made me laugh. Yeah. And then we found someone else that accepted the gift card.
Right. Well, I probably would have run away too.
Who's this guy? What does he want from me? Yeah. So I don't know. It's been a lot of fun, and it does give you a boost of energy.
So, it makes you feel good. It's like I posted in the group the young guard scanning the IDs. It was like in the 30s, and he was just like, "Oh, good morning, ma'am." And I looked at him and we just made eye contact. I'm like, "Hey, do you drink Starbucks?" He's like, "Well, yes, ma'am." And I'm like, "Well, here, have a Starbucks on me. Thank you for being here." And I swear to God, he gave me it's like his whole body went limp, and he was just like, he didn't know what to say. His eyes got wide. Then he smiled. But it just felt like he was giving me just this hug,
Yeah.
like, wow, thanks. You're a nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just
Yeah.
felt good, and
Feels good to be appreciated. It's the number
yeah,
one human desire is to feel.
and he felt good. He was like,
Yeah.
wow. Anyway,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I really
All
like this
right.
part of the challenge.
Well, this is a great segue into my favorite part of the show is where we get to highlight someone, Do Hard Things
Hey.
weekly winner, someone that's been out there crushing it, that's motivating and inspiring other people. And this week's winner is Chrissy Pate. Chrissy Pate, who's this week's Do Hard Things winner. She's been getting after it for a long time. She's been in my news feed for a long time. We met during another popular program, 75 Hard.
I see that
she
shirt
came
she's
on.
wearing.
She came on board over here to do the E3 challenge, and every day she's in there motivating and inspiring. And I know she's dragged one of her friends along with her because I'm always seeing pictures of her and her friend, which is there in the center there, getting after it. She recently hit like a weight loss milestone, which is super awesome. And so, Chrissy, just for inspiring others, getting after it, sharing your positivity and motivation, you're this week's Do Hard Things weekly wake up.
Great job, Chrissy. Woo!
We'll
glad that you are here. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I talk a lot. So
yeah, no, me too. It's just hard. It's just like, I just want to be like Kate. So I do. I read your posts, Chrissy. I don't know you. We've never met, but I read your posts, and you definitely inspire me on the daily. So I really appreciate you being there, and you have pumped up my motivation when it has been waning. So I really appreciate you sharing and keeping with the program. It's been awesome doing this alongside with you.
And that's why we have the sharing as part of the program too, right? For the burn the ships and the accountability aspect, because when I log into my Facebook and I see a bunch of people getting after it, when I'm feeling a little down, when I feel like I'm in the valley of despair, because you can have like short moments where you're down in that valley too. It's like, you know what? Okay, pity party's over. I got to get after it. Chrissy just crushed this workout. I got to get my stuff together. I got to go do my thing. Yeah. So it's just awesome to have motivating, people around you in your tribe.
That's right.
So, Chrissy, thank you for what you do. Thank you for inspiring others. You inspire the hell out of us.
Heck yeah.
We appreciate you. So,
hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Don't forget to do something that makes you smile today.
Absolutely. I will. I'm going to do that.
That's
Absolutely. Right. I love that little tagline. We need to make that a shirt. Lacey, are you watching? We got to make that a shirt. We got to figure that out. Angie needs her own shirt.
Yeah. I'll take it. I'll wear it. But yeah, hey, let's go crush Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're out there watching this, hey, thank you for watching. We appreciate you.
Yes.
If you're someone that's watching this, you're someone that wants to be better. You want to dominate. You want to kick butt. We believe in you. Keep doing hard things. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Heck yeah. We'll see ya.